Today we remember how early on Easter morning the women took spices that they had prepared and sadly made their way to the tomb. And when they arrived, they found the stone rolled away, and Jesus' body was not there. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. And they said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen. He has risen indeed." Those are the words that resound on this Easter morning. But this day that changed human history, when triumph over death and everlasting life broke into our world, began not with celebration, but with tears. And this is still the way Easter breaks into our lives. When we least expect it, when all seems lost and hopeless, that's when the stone rolls away, and the angel speaks, and death is swallowed up in victory. It's in the midst of our darkest moments that God's joy invades our hearts. If this good news of Easter seems too good to be true, it surely seemed that way on that first Easter morning too. Preoccupied with her loss and the mournful task she had to fulfill, Mary barely noticed the figure standing before her. And then, suddenly, she heard her name, Mary. Whether the sun was just beginning to rise over the Judean hillsides at that moment, we don't know. But when Mary heard Jesus call out her name, this was the moment that Easter broke, like a sunrise into her heart. And this is how we still recognize him. Just like sunrises emerge from the darkness of night, the same was and is true of the Easter experience today. Sometimes our tear-swollen eyes may blind us to this reassurance. But as Mary discovered, the good news of Easter is that Jesus hears our cries, and he softly calls out our name. And suddenly, we realize that he's right there with us, reassuring us to be not afraid. I have risen. I am with you. And because I live, you will live also. And then suddenly, the sun begins to rise again. On this Easter morning, may you hear the risen cries calling out your name and reassuring you that he is alive and he is with you. And may you experience a sunrise in your heart.